guys, welcome to Seasons of Hustle Bootcamp Day 4. We're going to talk about our why today and personal development. So I hope you guys are excited to dig into this topic because there's a lot of goodness in it. So the first thing that I want to talk about today is we all have our own unique way of doing this business. We have different life experiences, we have different strengths, we have different personalities, we build different relationships, we connect with people differently. So this unique part of us is known as our unique selling proposition or perspective. I've heard it called both. And so you really have to figure out what your USP is. For me, I connect really well with families with special needs kiddos, homeschool moms, people who have special diet restrictions, things like that, because that's things that I personally connect with. So think about what makes you be unique and different that will give you a connection to those people. So like when I do events and I go, like let's say a vendor event, when I do the special needs vendor events, I do those really, really well because I connect with those people. If I just do a random one that doesn't have a theme that I really connect with and it's just really random people, those are a little bit harder for me and I have to work harder at those. So just to give you an idea, we talk about USP in the book as well in chapter 3. So you need to be sure that you're reading chapter 3 as part of tonight's homework. The next thing that's really important, and you will hear leaders say this over and over again, is you have to know your why. We have talked about building a strong foundation for your business, and one of those strong foundation building blocks is knowing that why. Is your why strong enough? Is your why something that is going to pull you out of a moment of desperation or a moment of just when you are just not sure if you still want to continue doing this thing, or if you get discouraged, is your why going to pull you out of that? I often tell my leaders that if your why doesn't make you cry, it may not be strong enough. So a lot of people have very simple whys, and that's great. We start with those, but I encourage you to dig a little bit deeper in those whys because there's more layers to those whys, and your whys will change over time. As you change as a person, when you dig into personal development, your why is going to change and it is going to expand, and it is going to probably blow your mind where you are a year from now or 2 years from now with your why versus where you were today. So I keep my whys written down and I go back to them and I read them in times that I need a little kick in the pants and why I'm doing this thing. Because yes, I get discouraged too sometimes. We all have those seasons. So be sure you know your why. So why is personal development so important in this business? So let's be honest. You're only going to get so far in this business without personal development. You will not be a diamond or a crown or a royal if you're not working on yourself and learning. So how are you going to discover more about yourself? Do you think that being an entrepreneur is going to stretch you as a person? I know for me, it's honestly been one of my favorite parts of this journey. I feel like the personal development I have done in this process has really molded me into the woman that I was supposed to be, and I'm still being molded into more. So I can't wait to see what the future holds. But if I would have held back at that point and not dug through that personal development, and it's not always fun, it's not always easy, but on the other side of it is so much more. So if we discover who we are as a person, how we're wired, what our challenges are, what our strengths are we going to be able to help identify that in others? Are we going to be able to build stronger teams? You better believe so. So the first thing I want to talk about is color personalities. Now, many of you have heard of the color personality test. There's GEMS, there's all different ones. One of my favorite ones is by the late Jacob Adamo. He was Young Living Platinum that passed away last year. And he wrote Full Spectrum Success. There's a quiz that goes along with that tells you your personality color. So that's part of tonight's homework. Okay, and I know some of you are going to be commenting and saying, I already know my personality, this is my color. Okay, I want you to take it again. Even if you have taken it in the past, we're going to take it again because your color personality will change over time. So let's just briefly go over each color, and I'll just give like a one thing about each color. So reds love a challenge. So I have been a bright, shiny red most of my life. I am like Rudolph flashing like a reindeer, okay? But I wanted to work on my secondary color. So I really wanted to be more blue because blues have more fun. So I worked on blue all of 2018. And guess what? The last time I took my test, I wasn't 90% red. I actually was pretty even with red and blue. So that was something that was so just like excited me so much because I had truly intentionally worked on that. Yellows love helping others. So honestly, there's going to be more yellows in Young Living than any other personality color. It's a theme amongst all the teams that I know is we have a lot of yellows. So we love our yellows. And greens love stats. They love numbers. They love knowledge. They love facts. So that's just a quick overview of what those personality colors are. So as you develop an understanding of these colors, you not only can understand more about yourself and maybe why you respond certain ways to certain things, but you're also going to be able to understand those on your team because we are in a relationship business. So if you can learn to speak all the different languages of the 4 different colors, you're going to be able to communicate with your team so much more. So let's strengthen that. Let's get our teams strong and let's focus on those personality colors. Now, there's one thing I don't want you to do. I don't want you to, once you learn somebody's personality color, just be like, oh, they just do that because they're a yellow, or she's the only one that's going to do that because she's a red. Don't hold their color personality against them. Learn from it because, like I said, our color personalities change over time. So don't just think they're that way because they're a blank color. That is one trap that I see people getting into. So one tip that we give in the book is when you are doing Facebook messages, you can change the color. And so with my team, with my leaders, once we are working together and they take the color personality test and they share that with me, I change that Facebook message color to their personality color. So if they're yellows, our chat is yellow. If they're reds, our chat is red. If they're green, it's green, and blue, it's blue. And what that helps me do without having to go remember everybody and research everybody, because as you get a large team, it's hard to remember those things. It lets me know what color personality I need to be speaking. So if I see a yellow, I'm not going to give a thumbs up, okay, because they like more words of encouragement. So that's a tip that I really hope you guys implement from the book. Okay, our next section that we're going to talk about, I'm going to give just a little bit of an introduction, and then actually have a special guest joining us today to talk about this next one. So let's talk about ULA. How many of you have actually heard about ULA? ULA is about life balance in 7 areas. So let's talk about those 7 areas: fitness, finance, family, field, faith, friends, and fun. So for me, ULA helps remind me that I need to be balanced in all areas of my life. If I get laser focused on just one, then other areas of my life are going to take that hit and they're going to not be in such a good place. I can't just build my business and not work on my family. I can't neglect my marriage and my daughter and only work my business. Will I be successful if I do that? Will I be happy if I do that? Absolutely not. Can I build an empire if I am not having fun? If I am not having balance and my faith and believing that God will bring me the people that need to be on my team? If I am not doing well with my finances, if that part of my life isn't balanced, am I going to be blessed with more finances to be in charge of? So if you're not having fun, if people don't see you having fun, are you going to attract people? Or are people going to be like, I want to do what she does? That looks super fun to me. So I want you to think about that and think about how those 7 areas of your life, and I want you to do the ULA balance test. We've given the link for that in your homework as well. But now let's bring on our special guest. So most of you know, this is my husband, Craig.
Hey guys, special guest. Oh, that's awful sweet of you. I appreciate you giving me just a few minutes of screen time here. So ULA. I literally got told like 5 minutes ago that you were going to bring me on as a special guest. So
Ula is his thing. So I needed you to hear it from him because he is really, really passionate about Ula. He does Ula every day. I maybe do it once a week, once every 10 days. So he's better at doing it daily. And everybody on our team knows he's the Ula guru. So.
What? No. Dr. Troy is the Ula guru, period. I'm getting close on my Ula numbers, but I'm nowhere near where he is. And when we talk about Ula numbers, we're talking about that test that she was just mentioning earlier. So, yeah, faith, family, all the 7 realms of your life really come down to how can you play on one and not affect any of the others. Mm-hmm. So, if you lose faith, are you going to lose faith in your spiritual faith? Is it your family faith? Is it your work faith? All these faiths really come into play, and then you come into your field. What is your field? Is it, is this a step from what your 9-to-5 job that you're working right now? Is that a step to your financial freedom, that you've played really well on your finances and you're able to, and your Young Living business has grown, that you can leave your 9-to-5 job? Are you physically capable within your fitness to be able to do that? So you can see how each one of these, can you go have fun without friends? Absolutely. But is it more fun to go out and do things with friends? Absolutely. You can see how they all play into, they're all very much interconnected. And how can you do the things that you want to do on your own? You can't.
Okay, so here's a question. So you really dug into Ula over the last 1.5 years or so. And so, a few people know your story with Ula, but I just want you to share a little bit about how once you focused on Ula and was intentional about it, what it changed for you and what it was able to do for your life.
Purpose. I think I can answer that with one word, and that's purpose. It helped me identify my blockers in daily life that I was amplifying and making my own. I was memorializing and making blockers bigger than what they should be. I should be amplifying those accelerators and relying. It helped me build my relationships. I think Tara can speak to this as well, that our connection, when I was able to truly focus, and it gave me that driven point of success to be able to say, this is why I get up every morning. Ironically, I joke that many of you know that I teach on a regular basis, and it's part of my program. I'm an instructor. I'm not a professor by any means. No, I'm not a professor. But with that, my screensaver is 4 of the most wonderful things in my life. They're not the most important things, but they're things that keep me focused. And family is very much one of those. And fun. Well, on my screensaver, I have a picture of my daughter, my wife, and the beach, and a picture of all 4 of us together. That gives me my point and focus. So if you have not read I don't know why I do that. Well, no, because you got the comments, and then it's backwards, and it's all goofy.
It's okay.
I hate that stuff. But Ula Balance, trying to find balance in an unbalanced world, I highly, highly, highly recommend reading that.
You've read it multiple.
I'm on my 3rd read right now, and there are things that it just really pops on you. But it gives you that basis of setting very smart goals, and it makes you take those steps daily. You can't just say, I'm going to lose 50 pounds by tomorrow. I was listening to another individual talking about smart goals, and he brought up, let's lose. I'm going to put $50 million in an escrow account for you, and we're going to weigh you in today, and whatever your weight is, if you lose 50 pounds by tomorrow, the 50 million is yours. Is that doable?
Nope.
Why do you say no?
There's no healthy way to lose 50
Ah,
pounds.
the healthy way. But if I went and cut both your legs off, could you lose the 50 pounds?
You probably could.
So, but it wasn't a smart goal. That's the piece of it. So it really helps you focus on what's smart, and whether it's in those realms of faith, family, friends, finance, fitness, fun, all those pieces. But you take the test, it's going to tell you where you need to focus. Yeah, that's, without going into majorly in the weeds on things, I think that's kind of just, it's really given me that chisel.
Yeah, so ULA has been his realm of personal development that he is connected with the most, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, Dr. Dave and Dr. Troy, if you can't connect with either one of those guys through the personal development that they've had, and they've been very open about sharing, you can't connect with anybody.
So my personal development story is very different. So at one point in my journey, I was asking some leaders some questions, and they're like, well, you just need to go to Danny Johnson. Danny Johnson is a personal development conference, dannyjohnson.com. And they wouldn't answer my questions. They're like, you just need to go to Danny Johnson. I'm like, but I don't want to go to Danny Johnson. Well, after you go, then I'll answer a question. So after about 6 months of that, I'm like, okay, fine. I'm going to go to Danny Johnson. I do not want to go, but whatever. I can get all my questions answered when I get back. So it was something I was very hesitant to do. I didn't think I needed it. I thought I was fine with myself. I thought I was doing fine. I did not think I needed personal development. So I went to Danny Johnson. I am not much of a crier, and I cried the whole first day because of the realizations that I had while she was talking. And I went into it thinking it was a business conference. I didn't realize it was full personal development, and it is really more just personal development. But I will tell you, when I came back from there, within 6 weeks, I ranked up from silver to gold, and I was nowhere close to gold when I went to Danny Johnson. And that's because that's where I started changing my mindset. That's where I started changing my positive language, my positive thoughts. That's where I stopped caring if somebody said no. That no is going to get me closer to the next yes. So it really changed so much for me internally that was just a huge spin for us.
It was, you came back a different woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So personal development is something that I encourage you to do every day. Now, you don't have to attend a big conference or read a book every month or things like that, but there are things you can do in 5, 10, 15, 20 minute, 30 minute snippets every day. Do you commute somewhere when you're taking the kids to school? When you're going to work? Do you take a shower? You can listen to it while you're in the shower. Are you folding laundry?
Windshield time is, yeah, I get it. Listen to your killer music. I mean, you can listen to everything from what, Pitbull to
Casting Crowns.
Casting Crowns. Yeah, whatever. I mean, it doesn't matter what you want to listen to. But windshield time, that is, for your business, that is time that you will never get back. Mm-hmm. So why not use it for the best piece that you can when it comes to professional development and business? Because you're wasting your time anyway, just really driving. So
yeah, there's TED Talks, there's podcasts. You can plug your phone up in the car and listen to the 12 Days of Diamond videos while you're driving. I mean, there is so much goodness out there. If you're behind on Bootcamp, listen to Bootcamp. Like, there's things you can listen to, okay? So I just encourage you to set yourself a goal. Is it 10 days, 20 days, 30 days? I would really encourage you to do 90 days. If you did it every day for that amount of time, what would that do for you? What would that do for your business? So now we're going to move on to a different topic. And this topic may or may not be for all of you, but it is something we feel strong about and is in the book. So we're going to cover that a little bit. So let's just face it. At the end of the day, hustle will only get us so far. Are you intentionally thinking about where your business needs to grow, what you need to do, and what are you doing to help give it to a higher power, and ask for what you need, okay? So I've heard a lot of leaders say they are fearful to pray for leaders. They're fearful to pray for money. They're fearful to pray for the positive things in their business. Why is that? Why do we limit ourselves when we know that's the area that we need growth in? Okay, so
that's one of those 7 realms I was talking about earlier.
Yeah. So if you are a believer in any type of higher power, I encourage you to think about that and spend some intentional time every day being grateful for things in your business and also asking for the things that aren't there. So are you ready for people to say yes? Are you ready for people to seek you out that are looking for health and wellness? Are you ready for leaders? Are you ready for the next Adam Green, the next Sandy Boudreau, the next, I could name a bunch of diamonds. Are you ready? Because the next person in your role could be one of those people. So stop being fearful of praying for the things you need for your business. One of my favorite resources for this is Monique McLean's 21 Days of Prayer. If you watch her story and you followed it at all, she intentionally spent 21 days praying for her business before she started, and she hit Royal Crown Diamond in 18 months. So all the people that I know that have done 21 Days of Prayer in their business, including us, it has dramatically changed the outlook of their businesses. So that is where we're going to end today. I just want you guys to take time today to reflect and surrender what needs to be surrendered, and be grateful for the things that you've accomplished so far. Remember that your hustle homework is to complete the exercise on page 35. You're going to take the color personality test. Yes, you're going to take it again, even if you've already taken it. You're going to take your ULA balance test. You're going to be sure you read chapter 3, and you're going to post those in the comments. We will see you tomorrow for day 5.